Good morning, everybody. And today, as I walk through my local park heading to work, I want to talk about what was inevitably going to happen, and that is the riots that took place in Belfast there yesterday. Now, first off, let's call a spade a spade. Riots like this are completely unacceptable. If you have a problem, you go about it in a legal and a non-violent way. All right, you contact the guards or the police. You get in contact with your politicians. You put pressure on people to actually do something, whether you believe it to be good for your people or not. But going around burning out buses and destroying people's cars and half burning down a house, like, what use is that to anybody? Anger is a very powerful feeling, but it needs to be channeled in the right way and it needs to be channeled in the right direction. If you have a problem with immigration, if you have a problem with people being attacked on the streets, then you deal with that problem in a way that doesn't destroy your community. So these attacks and this destruction is completely unwarranted, especially when there are other avenues you can pursue. The two things strike me with regards to this, and I'm sure I'm going to make another video fairly soon once more details come out about what exactly is going on in Belfast. The first is that if politicians deliberately rile up people, deliberately make people feel angry and upset about something, then of course you're going to have that anger spill over out into the streets at any opportunity. We had the similar situation here in Dublin a few years back, where we had riots across the middle of the city centre over, again, a stabbing incident. And it was very clear that the people who were involved in these attacks and the looting of buildings were taking just the opportunity to cause issues and cause problems, and using the stabbing in that case as an excuse to do their worst. And the same situation has happened here in Belfast. The second thing that kind of struck me as I was watching the news reports about this yesterday is that the burnt out bus in particular, it's in a unionist area. Now, for those of you who don't know, Belfast is a very divided city. There are unionist and nationalist communities. Unionists being those who are pro-United Kingdom and wish Northern Ireland to remain part of the UK, and nationalists being pro-Republic of Ireland and wishing Northern Ireland to be integrated into the Irish Republic. The vast majority of these attacks, it would seem, from just me looking at it casually on news reports and social media, seem to be taking place in unionist areas. The Union Jack, or the flag of the United Kingdom, is prominently displayed, which would never be the case in a nationalist area. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because the nationalist areas where the stabbing took place, and while we don't know which affiliation the victim is, and it doesn't matter one way or the other, the fact that in nationalist areas there wasn't any rioting, there wasn't any destruction, there wasn't any attacks that I could find out and I could see, and I'm perfectly willing to accept that I might not have all the information here with regards to this, but the real big assaults that took place on public property took place in unionist areas. Now, these two communities would be at each other's throats normally and really don't have very much time for each other. So we have to ask ourselves, why is it that unionists are basically taking up arms in areas that are not connected to where the attack took place? And there could be many different answers to this, but on the whole, I have to lay the blame for a lot of what's going on in Northern Ireland, including this, to on the doorstep of the political parties that are up there and political parties in the UK. If you wild up your people, if you get them all angry and all upset about any given issue, they will take a opportunity to cause havoc once that issue comes to the fore. And that's just human nature. People will follow after leaders. And if their leaders tell you that X, Y, or Z people are to blame for the problems that they have in their lives, then any opportunity to cause damage to those people are going to be taken. And this seems to be the case of what's happening in the north. Here in the south, I can only just hope that it doesn't spread to Dublin and other communities here. It's unlikely to, but I can only just hope that it doesn't. We've had enough of our own issues with regards to a rise of anti-immigration sentiments here in Dublin in particular. And the knife crime has been on the rise here as well. So, but going out and burning out buses is not an answer. Never will be. We can only just hope that politicians will become more sensible with regards to what they tell their supporters. But let's not hold our breath, because this is the way some politicians do work, particularly on the right wing of politics, the extreme right wing in particular. They operate under a cloak of very severe feeling, anger, resentment, and the like. So, but unfortunately, you're always going to get people who are going to not place the blame where it should be placed, on things like social services, on lack of education, on lack of investment, and instead place it on people who are just as just basically in a very similar position to what they are themselves. In this case, immigrants. Now, last caveat on saying all of that, knife crime, as I said in my previous video, is completely out. Any sort of violence is completely out. This destruction in Belfast is completely out, and I condemn the whole lot of it, no matter who is involved, or for what cause, or for what reason. I just hope that things will settle down up there, and that not too many people will be hurt or injured with regards to this. Anyway, that's my initial thoughts with regards to the riots in Belfast. I'm sure I'll be making a few more videos about this if things escalate, but here's hoping that they don't. Have a nice day.